Welcome back. This is the United and Stormwind Arena Card Preview Review Evaluation Stream, whatever, Lifeword Podcast, ready and go. I'm looked up.
This is Merps. Let's get through this. But we need to give the people scores. So
Yeah,
talk about it.
let's do it. 3 classes left. We are fading and fading fast. Maybe I'm gonna pump some more monster into me.
Oh my god. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Midnight
Okay.
Monster? Midnight Monster.
Oh
Alright.
god, that's a terrible idea. First, we have investment opportunity. 25th anniversary Pokemon cards. Let me tell you guys about that later, but not now. 1 mana, draw an overload card.
Okay. Okay. Let me break this down for you again, because I've said it before. You try to get a card now, you can't just pay 1 mana for it. Now your new card has to also be reduced by 1 mana. That's how things work now. Okay, that's how all the studies work. That's how that's what's normal now. So this card doesn't do that. It just draws an overload card. And so that's not that good. So it's not like a premium card or anything. It's a C, like a little bit better than a Yeti. You will take this card and you will be okay with it. But you will not be happy.
Yeah, so it's like a low C.
Yeah.
It's not a bad card though, because once again, remember what we're trying to do is like preserve the quality of your deck, right? And overload cards tend to be good. Like
Mm-hmm.
they tend to be quite good.
They're all
So
class cards.
they're all class cards, first of all. So what you're saying is like I'm kind of preserving the quality of my deck and I'm drawing through it. So yeah, I am paying for this. Sometimes you're just gonna have a mana floating, right? Once again, this is not great. It's a low C, so it's like 100, barely.
Mm-hmm.
It is a 100. And what it means is, on average, if this is a Yeti is a subpar card in your deck
Mm-hmm.
now. What you are looking for is like the average card in your deck that you're gonna have is about a C plus. Like it's gonna be about a C plus, almost close to like a B, like around there. So this isn't exactly that good, but it preserves the quality of your deck.
Cool. Next, we have another Shaman 1 mana spell, Overdraft. Overdraft is tradable, but what it does is it unlocks your overloaded mana crystals to deal that much damage. Okay, so it's doing 2 things. First, it is unlocking your mana crystals so you can get them back. And second, it deals that much damage, so it's a removal. So if you can get it to trigger on 1 overload mana crystal, it's basically a 0 mana card that deals 1 damage, so it's a Moonfire. If you can do it on 2 mana crystals, then it is a Innervate plus a Backstab, which is super good. And then if you can't do any of that because you like don't have overloaded cards or whatever, you can then just trade it. So it's all kinds of flexible. Now, the problem is there's not that many overload cards that overload for more than one. And so you're gonna have to do stuff like combo 2 overload cards the turn before you use overdraft to be able to get any like better than Moonfire value out of it. So it's a good combo piece, but you gotta like kind of weigh the odds of being able to hit that combo.
Yeah, when you hit it, it's so good. Like when you hit it on two overloaded mana crystals or even more potentially,
Mm-hmm.
it's ridiculously good. But you gotta get that first.
Yeah, and it's
It's a
hard to
C
set
plus.
up. Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah,
a C plus. Because if
we
you
rate it a
don't
C
get
plus.
yeah, if you don't get two, you need two. If you don't get two, what are you doing? What are you moonfiring? Like just trade it.
Yep. Okay. What is next?
Next is an auction house gavel. Auction house gavel, 2 mana, 2/2 weapon. After your hero attacks, reduce the cost of a battle cry minion in your hand by 1. So battle cries are everywhere. So you're probably going to be able to hit it twice, and it could be even hit the same card twice if you just don't play it the next turn. So It's a 2 mana 2/2 weapon, which honestly is not that great these days, but it's got a decent ability that helps it out a bit. Ends up being a B plus. It's a very good card.
Very good. Yeah, the reduction is real. You're always going to get that, almost always going to get that reduction. So, um, really freaking good.
Yeah. Next is a legendary card, Boner Hammerbeak, 2 mana 1/4. After you play a Battlecry minion, repeat the first Battlecry played this turn.
All right. This card I was high on, and you were just like, like a little bit skeptical
Mm-hmm.
about. I think that it's going to. All right, look, this is not a 2 drop. Like you could drop it on 2. Don't drop it on 2. It's a combo piece, right? It's a combo piece. Repeating the first battle cry play this turn, you do have to like set up the pieces. You need this legendary, you need the battle cry, and then you need other battle cries to sort of like keep the chain going as well. But when it's good, it's really good. So it's a B in the end. It's like you got to set it up, but
Because it's
it's
like barely a 2 drop. So
yeah,
it's just
it's
a
not a 2.
combo piece. And
Yeah.
you have to have a battle cry that you actually want to trigger multiple times.
Right, right. So you need to have this in your hand. You need to have something that you want to trigger again, and then that has to be played first, although that doesn't really matter. And then you want to play another battle cry. So, that's
It's a
fine. It's like
lot.
it's a lot. It's not as hard as some people think it is, but it's also not as easy as some people think it is. So it's interesting. Like it's a beat.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next one is a charged call. 3 mana nature spell. Discover a 1 cost minion and summon it. Upgraded for each overload card you played this game.
So
So,
thankfully, it's you played this game, not like you played when this is in your hand.
mhm.
Thankfully,
but
but
still, like you're
exactly.
discovering a what? Even if you discover a 3 cost minion and summon it, it's not particularly great. It's like bad because you have to summon it this turn, and you summon it, so you don't get any battle cries associated with it. So you got to at least get to 4. Like, how many overload cards are you able to play?
Yep. So with the charge call, it is a solid D. Sorry.
Bad card.
Okay. Now we get to the next card, Canal Slogger. I know some people like this card. Oh, it's kind of creepy looking. It's a 4 mana 6/4 elemental. I don't know how this is, so I don't understand. With rush and lifesteal, and it overloads for 1. Um, good. I mean, like real good.
And like,
Uh,
okay, Blizzard, just make these
yeah.
cards.
Yeah, like okay, so this is a B plus, which is quite good. Uh, So if you want to ask what exactly holds it back, right? Well, it overloads for 1, so it's like
It's
five
like five
mana.
mana.
The lifesteal is relevant, that's nice, but if it has lifesteal, you kind of wish it had a little bit more health, so maybe it could stick around a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more. The 6 damage is nice, it's a little bit overkill something. Like once again, we're picking, right? But in order to get to an A, you either have to have um immense pop off potential, or you have to just be better.
Yeah,
And this is
like this is
just
better than it
generally
should
plus.
be, but not like
Yeah,
super better than it should be. It's just very
right.
obviously better than it should be, right? Like what makes people like this card is that it's so easy to see how overpowered it is compared to what normal cards are that do similar things. But
Yeah,
it's not like that much more overpowered than normal cards that do similar things. So it's not like breaking the game. It's just kind of, why are you doing this, Blizzard? Like, why?
yep. I just realized we didn't rate the next card.
Huh?
There's no rating there, by the way.
Oh crap! Did I forget to rate this card?
I think you forgot to, and because you forgot to do it, I didn't follow suit. That's
Wait,
great.
no, I did rate this card.
I don't see it.
Okay, well, that's fine. I will rate this card now because I remember the rating. All right, it's Granite Forgeborn. Granite Forgeborn is a Yeti that is an elemental with a battle cry that says reduce the cost of elementals in your hand and deck by 1. So you get a nice little bonus of a whole bunch of potential tempo. And this is a C plus.
All right.
Um,
I didn't count how many elementals you're supposed to have.
you're
So
supposed to have a
that's
decent amount of elementals, but you can't like play them all at once because you're only reducing their cost by 1. Um, like it sounds stronger than it is, I think, because people are like, "Oh my god, just all the elementals from here on out reduce by 1." Like, sure, like even if you get this to trigger 3 times, 4 times over the course of the game, they're still coming in late. Like they're not coming on this turn. They're like delayed mana gains, and you end up gaining like some mana, but not like of the most ridiculous amount.
okay. Fine. Yeah, sure. You can see how much I care about this right
Yeah,
now.
like this
But no,
is
I mean
not.
it's fine.
This is just not a card that's kind of like running things, right? Like if you math out how much mana you're actually gaining and how when you're gaining the mana, it's it's good, but it's not kind of changing the game.
Okay. Next we have Spirit Alpha. Spirit Alpha is a 4 mana 2/5. After you play a card with Overload, summon a 2/3 Spirit Wolf with Taunt. And here,
This one is yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
What?
It's like this.
Oh, okay. And it's a C.
Yep, it is a C.
That's fine.
So yeah, like it's 4 mana 2/5, obviously very bad. But if it's a 4 mana 2/5 with a 2/3 taunt, obviously very good. So you just have to play it with an overload card, or you can even play it. It's probably going to live, and then you play an overload card afterwards. And because it's summoning stuff with taunt, it can protect itself if you have more overload cards. It's these like combo-y pieces. But again, how many overload cards do you have? How many overload cards can you stuff into your arena deck? It's not that many.
Yep. All right. Next, we have Tiny Toys. Oof. Tiny Toys, it's an epic spell, 6 mana. Summon 4 random 5 cost minions. Make them 2/2. First of all, you're getting a lot of stats, like split
Mm-hmm.
stats, right? So you're getting 6 mana for 8/8 split stats. This is a A. We put this as an A. Like I looked at the 5 cost minions. Now this is going to be interesting. Stay with me here. There are obviously quite a few good ones, right? There are obviously quite a few good ones that if you hit them, holy shit, you might just win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about like Graybow, right? Like that is a 5 cost minion. There's also just like, oh, you can like have a divine shield here, like you know, like uh stuff with spell
Poisonous.
burst. Yeah, poisonous, and then of course like burning blade acolyte, right? The interesting thing. Oh yeah, and people are mentioning like the new spider that's coming. Sure, have that. That's another great one. Okay. Um, the problem is if you get mortuary machine. Now, I specifically talked about this situation with ADWCTA. I was like, okay, I think this is an A because the times in which you just get all these incredibly good, and you have 4 chances, right? So the chances of you getting something with a significant bonus on top of the 2/2 is very high. Like I looked
Mm-hmm.
at all of them, I'm like, this is pretty high for you to get one of the 2/2s to be like pretty good. It doesn't have to be Burning Blade Acolyte good, but pretty good. The problem is Mortuary Machine. So we decided that at the end of the day, and if you guys aren't aware, Mortuary Machine is it gives all of the minions that your opponent plays reborn, which sucks. The real problem with Mortuary Machine is that it's too big and it's hard to kill off. So like its size and over tempo actually works against it. And here, at the very least, okay, at least, if you get a Mortuary Machine, you can always, by always, I mean almost always, but really always, you can always kill it off to prevent the extreme downside of Mortuary Machine. So after discussing, I'm like, okay, I'm more okay here because even if you get Mortuary Machine here, it's not as bad as playing an 8/8 Mortuary Machine. Um, so that's it. You just
Yeah.
get a ton of stats, so much stats, and so much advantage for it. Um, but you have a chance of rolling the Mortuary Machine.
So this is like what the shaman is now. This is the last card for the shaman. So we could talk about shaman as a whole. You have tiny toys, which is really just a bag of stats on turn 4, on turn 6. You have Canal Slogger, which is really just a bag of stats with rush on turn 4. You have Auction House Gavel, which is really just a bag of stats for your weapon that then makes your Battlecry minions tempo out harder. Like, what is Shaman now? It's just like overpowered stuff.
Yeah, they just play overpowered stuff.
It just feels like Paladin.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
It's very, very weird for your shamans to feel like Paladin. Now, that being said, this is a great meta to try to imitate a Paladin for the arena because of what all the cards are pushing towards, all this tempo play, all this potentially game-ending plays, with reach and all of that. So I think Shaman's in a very good position. But when you're playing Shaman, you just gotta I guess there were always like a class which relied on just having overpowered cards and not having a particularly clear identity in the arena otherwise. But it's more so. I mean, it's even more so now than it was.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. I think Tiny Toys is like a good example of what it is. Like, all right, have a bunch of stats and have extra stuff that probably translates to more stats, right?
Yep.
Um, they just play powerful stuff. That's it.
Yep. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how interesting it'll be, but it'll certainly be random. And they do have a lot of synergies that's built up. And if you can get these overload synergies working, it'll be like really good. But you're looking at all these overload synergies. There's no overload cards. They added one overload card into the pool here in Canal Slogger, which you're going to take every time it pops up, basically. But it's a 4 mana card, so it doesn't really combo too well with anything, and it only overloads for 1. So you're really going to have to get the pieces from elsewhere. And are you going to be able to do that? It's going to be really hard in Arena.
Yep.
All right. All right, that's it for Shaman. We're going to come back with Warlock.
Bye.